Welcome back. It's been nearly a week since President Biden announced that he'll be tapping into the National Oil Reserve to combat rising oil and gas prices. But the question is, how much of an impact is it actually going to have? Our Verify team has the answer for us tonight.
It's been nearly a week since President Biden announced his plan to, quote, lower gas and oil prices for Americans by calling for the release of 50 million barrels of oil from the Strategic Petroleum Reserve, a group of oil storage facilities located in Texas and Louisiana along the Gulf Coast. People on social media are wondering if Americans will actually see a drop in gas prices soon. So let's verify. Does the release of 50 million barrels of oil mean there will be a significant drop in gas prices? Our sources include the White House, Andy Lipow, president of Lipow Oil Associates, the U.S. Energy and Information Administration, Gas Buddy, and Ellen Edmonds, public relations manager for AAA. According to the Department of Energy, as of November 21st, there were 604.5 million barrels of oil in the Strategic Petroleum Reserve. The White House's plan is to release 50 million of those barrels in two parts. 32 million barrels will be exchanged or loaned to refiners. Those will need to be returned with interest, and 18 million will be sold. The idea is to increase the supply of oil, which would push gas prices down. But Andy Lipow, an energy industry consultant based out of Houston, says it's not that simple.
The biggest misconception is probably that it's going to have an immediate impact on lowering gasoline prices. When we look at the details of the exchange or the sale, it appears that this is going to occur over a several-month period, meaning that its impact to the market is going to be mitigated.
He says the oil being loaned to refiners won't be available until 2022, and the barrels being sold won't necessarily go to U.S. buyers.
The reason that the consumer will not see a significant decline is because the oil market remains tight. And while this has accelerated the supply of oil, it hasn't fixed the problem because most of that oil still needs to be paid back in the future.
According to the U.S. Energy and Information Agency, better indicators of retail gas prices are crude oil prices and the level of gasoline supply relative to gasoline demand. Since the oil released from the reserves isn't new production and there is no guarantee on who is getting the oil and when the reserves will be returned, it's not certain that prices will drop as a result of this increase in supply. According to AAA, if gas prices do lower, they aren't likely to do so until the end of 2022. So we can verify, no, the release of 50 million barrels of oil does not mean there will be a significant drop in gas prices. With your Verify, I'm Adiande Till.
And a reminder that 50 million gallons is 2.5 days supply for America's usage.